Hey, what's up, good people? Um, y'all see y'all got an alternative lineup here tonight. And I don't know how long we can be trusted, Brother Jackson, but we're gonna do something.
It ain't gonna be long, man. Listen, we gonna turn this thing out. You know, when Brother Love gone, we can do
Hey,
whatever the heck we want to.
hey, he done left two fools in the hen house. So all right, this is on you. Brother Love is off on special assignment, doing whatever he's doing. And and he left us in charge. So Brother Jackson, how was your weekend?
Listen, man, it was good, man. It was good. But let's start it off the way we always do, man. Let's pretend like Brother Love at least sitting somewhere. But once again, it's on. This is Brother Love counterparts, Greg Jackson, the General Greg Jackson, and Doc Polite. You're tuned in to two of the most influential voices in Central Florida on a Monday night podcast, because we're going to add Doc Polite to that number tonight. If you want to be a part of the night show, all you got to do is hit 407-921-6195. Again, that's 407-921-6195. Or Doc, they can use their little Twitter fingers. They can jump on here and they can have a conversation with you and me.
Hit us up in the comment.
Hit us up in the comments.
And we'll show your comment on the screen.
Absolutely. So, Doc, let's get it on, man. Let's talk about it.
All right. So you know, I was telling you about, you know, I kind of wild out to this a little bit.
Listen, people need to be careful about how they approach people on social media. You know, a lot of folks on social media, when I was coming up, a friend of mine named Grimlock, one of my fraternity brothers, one of my AFIQ fraternity brothers, called Grimlock for a reason. I ain't gonna get into all of that, but he used to call them jawbone gangsters. And now we call them Twitter gangsters, because people get onto these social media sites and they think that they can say anything they want to, and you know, they can they could be tough and they could be bullies on social media. But then when you call them out and when you push back on them, that's when you see the real true side of them.
Yeah, or you run into them in public, and there's a whole different change in demeanor.
Yeah,
and I've had that happen, and you know, I'm too old to be out there squabbling. I say that to anybody right now. But that don't mean that I still ain't got no bite left in me.
Right.
And the one thing what made me go there, bro, is the fact that a lot of times people are mouthing out, and that's all they're doing. They're not coming to the table with any kind of solutions or any insight other than their complaint.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yeah. You
know, and that's what ticked me off about this particular person, because it's every day, all the time. They are constantly complaining, and not once have I ever seen them offer a solution to the problems that they're talking about. So
I mean, and you won't. I mean, you won't see them offer any type of solution to the problems that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you know, the bigger thing for me is people can come onto these platforms, and this is an open platform where folks can actually discuss and come up with ideas and solutions for problems. But you have people out there who are more content with kicking up dissension. And, you know, you got to be careful when you kick up dissension. You might run into the wrong person.
Yeah, exactly. And then they get offended and they want to block you. I don't block people unless you are extremely ignorant. Then I tell you, hey, look, you know, I'm not going to argue with you. You know, I've had to block a few people, not because I didn't want to hear them, but I recognized that they were mentally unstable.
Yeah.
Now,
well, I tell you what, Doc, I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I don't block people. I send cease and desist letters.
Well, yeah.
That's not. Listen, I'm gonna let you hang yourself. I don't block people. I send for real cease and desist letters. And I want people to test me on that.
Are you following? I wanted to talk about this last week, but you were on assignment. What's going on with the Nolan Wells accusations and these lawyers now going after people on social media for saying certain things? Is that possible?
I mean, it depends on who they're going after and what they're going after them for. You know, especially where if they're putting out false information or fake information or something that could be detrimental to an investigation, but that's more so law enforcement than attorneys. But I mean, with these attorneys, you know, my understanding that they're trying to keep a quote unquote false narrative from being created based off of perceptions of what's been done in this case. I mean, this is, you know, this case has been around for about 4 weeks now. That
Yeah.
what was that 4th of July? Yeah, like 4th of July. So a little over 4 weeks now. And we still don't have many more answers. And the people who last saw this kid, or who we believe last saw this kid, have either changed their stories, or they're they're clamming up, or they're lawyering up, and different things like that, man. And so when those type of things happen, when the lawyers come out, it always sends a red flag up to me as to what's going on. But then I also understand it, because there have been times when I've been called out to protect people's rights, because they don't want certain things said or done in the public light. So,
well, the part of this is that we are, and many times when we put ourselves out in social media, that's the public square.
yeah,
And what we say, we have to make sure that we are giving an opinion. We're expressing it as an opinion, as opposed to fact.
well,
And
unless
what
it
I
is
see,
fact, because the one, the one, the one thing that can defeat, an act of slander is truth. I mean, truth is an
yeah,
absolute defense
defense.
to slander. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the most of the kick up I see is around this guy, Officer Tatum. I don't know if you've been following.
Not that much, man. Not that
Yeah,
much.
but he is a guy, former police officer, former football player, and he inserted himself into this because he allowed the boys, Nolan's friends, to come on his podcast and tell their side of the story. And everybody is like, well, why did you go to him? Why would you go to a conservative podcaster, someone who's going to softball all of this, instead of facing the public? People been asking you questions, so they send the one kid on their bark, and that only inflamed it more.
Yeah.
It would have been better just shutting up. And so now I think that they brought more scrutiny to the story and more people paying attention. And right now they are trying to get the reward for information about what actually happened, up to $1 million. So we got to see how that's going to play out. Now, also I saw today that Umar Johnson is getting himself involved. And I don't have to tell you, I'm not an Umar Johnson fan. So, I don't know if Brother Jackson dropped off and he coming back. But, the thing I noticed about this is that in the last 4 weeks, there's been more of a dust up than initially was warranted. And the police and authorities in Mississippi don't seem to be offering any other narratives or explanation as to what happened to this young man. So it's getting, to me, the scrutiny is getting worse more than anything else. All right, now he's back.
Yeah, I heard everything you're saying. I don't know why you couldn't see me, but I heard everything you were saying. Yeah,
it went out. Are you on wireless?
No. Somebody called me.
Oh,
and I didn't know how to get back. Hey, listen, I'm still listening to you. I couldn't get back, man. My bad.
Put it on airplane. So
yeah, let me do that right now. Let's do that right now.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know what you got. I don't know if that stopped the phone calls and the Wi-Fi or not. I don't know what phone you got.
Listen, I got I have the 5G service too. So even when I put it on airplane mode, I still have my 5G service. So I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm good. But when we talk about stuff that's taking place in the news media, man, and something else that's also interesting as it relates to a murder case and different things like that. You heard about what's happening with that murder suspect or that guy in Idaho, right?
No, bring us up to speed.
So I don't know if you remember, like 3 or 4 years ago, it was a graduate student from a university up in Idaho. He went to an apartment and killed 4 people in the apartment.
Oh yeah.
And then
Netflix special right now.
Yeah. And so what he did was he then pled guilty and entered a plea. But now he has withdrawn that plea. He's seeking to withdraw the plea so that he can, get a lawyer to represent him, because you're saying that the lawyer that he had pressured him into entering a plea deal. Now here's the issue and the problem with that. I personally think that they gave him a sweetheart deal by giving him a plea deal. I think that now, if he wants to put this case in front of a jury, man, I think that he's cooked. I think he's cooked.
Is Idaho a death penalty state?
You know what? That's a great question. Great question. I'm assuming it is, because the plea that he took was for him to be on death row.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
assuming that it is a death penalty state.
Well, I tell you what, he should be glad he ain't in Florida, because he probably be cooked next week.
Well,
The
well,
rate
yeah.
that
Well,
governor.
listen. Depends on which county you in Florida. Depends on
Yeah.
which county you're in.
Now another thing close to home. Have you been following the TPS issue with the immigration?
Now,
Because I learned.
it's a couple different ways to go from
Yeah,
that. Now,
yeah,
one of the things is where they're saying that Haitian citizens, that they're now withdrawing their ability to remain in the United States, right? But
right.
then there's also the issue of President Trump again challenging the birthright immigration status as well. So,
Well, I think he's gonna be trying to hammer at that, finding ways around it, because I think that's central to what him and his team want to do before he leaves office, or whatever happens. But it's interesting, because I learned that what we thought was the TPS program
Mhm.
and how it ran is not actually how it ran. They were given there are certain groups of Haitians that came here.
Mhm.
It's about 350,000 of them that were given TPS permanent status only until the government decides that it's stable enough for them to return to their country. Now, TPS status is not a pathway to a green card, citizenship, or asylum. The only thing that they got was the ability to stay here and to the ability to work. They had
Mhm.
a work permit. And these people knew from the start that it was not a pathway to citizenship. Now, however, some of them are in line for asylum, because that was what they had going before the status was given to them. So the misinformation has been out there. I don't think the government explained the program very well, because a lot of people are like, oh, they should be able to stay. That was never the deal. The deal,
right. Yeah. I don't think people understood that. Yeah.
yeah, and the deal is that I think it's about three different groups of Haitians that were given this status. Now, the interesting thing is that it wasn't just Haitians. It was Afghanistan, Burma, Cameroon, Ethiopian, Honduras, Nepal, Nicaragua, South Sudan, Sierra, Venezuela, and other designated countries. So it's not just targeting them. And now I can understand the other side too, because what has changed in Haiti?
Oh, I mean, the government. Yeah. Well, what's changed is that the government is it's technically no more. I mean, it's ran by a warlord, gang members right now. I mean, the capital city right now, you can't get in and out of, because it's being run by gangs in that country.
Yeah. But that's what people are criticizing the Trump administration for, is because they're saying the circumstances didn't change that made these people come here. So why are you ending the temporary protected status?
Well, no, it depends on when they came, because this current situation in Haiti, I want to say, is about 4 years old. Now,
Right.
before that, they had a stable government. I don't know if you remember Jean-Michel Moise. I don't know if you remember that name or not, but remember when I ran in 2014 for county commission, Jean-Michel Moise was a gentleman from Haiti who worked very hard on my campaign. Became a very good friend of mine. Went back to Haiti, took what he some from what he learned when he was campaigning with me and some of the stuff that he saw you doing, and he
Yeah.
actually became a House representative in Haiti.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. I mean, listen, he came, he visited me. I was actually planning to make a trip to Haiti to see him and to hang out
Yeah.
and place like that in his area. And so I know then the government was extremely stable. Well, compared to now, it was
Yeah.
extremely stable. And so I think that if they came during that time period, I mean,
Yeah.
Haiti has always had some turmoil, because I remember back in the 1990s when I had a good friend of mine whose dad was in the government in parliament in Haiti, and he was run out of the country, and so they moved here. And if I told you who she was, I'll tell you offline, because it's
Oh,
somebody that I bet you know. But her
oh,
dad,
okay.
when I met her, he was a diplomat from Haiti who had been run out of the country because of a political turmoil. So it's something that's been happening, but
Well,
not to this extent, though. Not to
yeah.
this extent.
I remember all the way back to the Tonton Macoots. You remember
Mm,
those?
Vaguely,
That
but
was,
yeah,
yeah, that was the late 80s, early
yeah,
90s
yeah.
gangs that took over in the drug trade. They ran the drug trade, and the same thing was going on in Haiti.
Listen, that's where the development of Little Haiti started.
Exactly. And
People
I
don't
used
realize
to go
that.
to
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that was Miami, my Miami period. And
yeah.
trust me, going to Miami in them days, you had to keep your
Oh,
head on the swivel.
listen. So, listen. Now we're talking history. We're giving history lessons right now. So you remember Hurricane Andrew?
Yeah.
So I was in the Florida Army National Guard back in 1992. That's when Hurricane Andrew hit. And when Hurricane Andrew hit, they deployed every National Guard unit in the state to go down to Miami. And they actually had us camping in Tamiami Park down in Miami
Oh.
for like 2 months. Now, a part of our mission, now we were infantry, all right? We were infantry.
Mhm.
And a part of our mission was they would set us up rooftop like sniper formations, although we weren't snipers, but sniper
Mhm.
formations inside of buildings, because one of the biggest issues and concerns was the Haitian gangs were knocking over the food stamp trucks, because that's back in the day when food stamps actually came like in those booklets, and the Haitian gangs were not. So our job was to protect the food. Listen, no bags. We had to protect the food stamp officers, because they was knocking over the food stamp officers. Man, they were
Hey,
serious down there.
man, I'm
They were
laughing because
serious.
when you talk about that time, people don't understand.
Yeah, no, they don't know.
It was a different time between them and the Jamaican posses. Man,
Oh my goodness.
Florida was
Oh
a
my
different.
goodnest.
Florida
Listen,
was a whole different.
the closest thing that I've seen on screen that almost lets you know what was going on is watch Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
That's the only thing that's
And
almost.
that was mild. That
Yeah,
was mild.
yeah.
And
People
I
don't
can
know,
tell
man.
you, listen, I can tell you when I went to Miami, I never went anywhere by myself. I
Nope.
always went with my friends who were from Miami.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
most of them stayed in Coconut Creek
Uh
or
huh. Up
shoot.
near Davy, up near Davy and stuff like that.
No, what's the other place? Shoot, I can't think of it right now. But that's where
Hmm.
Luke them Overtown. Overtown.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Overtown.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
good friend Clay stayed at Overtown. And trust me, I didn't go there. I drove there, got out my car, and then rode with Clay.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, it was so bad, and I hope my boy don't mind me throwing this out there, but my boy, brother Pinto, because
Yeah.
he grew up in Miami, and so when we were down there, I go down to Miami and I'll hang out with him because that was my dude,
Yeah.
and still is my dude, and I remember we would go to the bank at night, and he would be like, "Hey, you take the Glock. I'm gonna run up to the ATM." And literally, he would run up to the ATM. He'll get his money, run back. Then I have to run up to the ATM, and we got to stand there, and we got to watch each other. We got to watch each other six, man. We got to watch each other six,
Yeah,
man.
that was a very different time. I mean, you walk around and go late at night. What Miami is just a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
You know, you go down there and you're looking for the nightclubs, you don't see nothing. And then somebody tell you come down this alley, and the next
Hmm.
thing you know, you in a world-class club. You're like,
Yeah.
what? It's
Yeah.
in the back of a warehouse, and you go downstairs and you go into the club. And ain't
Yeah.
no sign. You just gotta know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we go places like that and go out to eat. You go in a restaurant, everybody in there with their guns on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is just normal Miami stuff.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that, I was like, this is different.
It was very different. It was very different.
I ain't gonna lie, being from Orlando, I didn't see that then. We had a little rough spot, but it was nothing like that late 80s, early Miami vibe. I mean, it was just a different thing. So, it's crazy. We could tell stories about them times all day. But what else we got on that list?
Listen, though, let me tell you this, and then we'll slide on to something else, because Miami was so crazy back then. I don't know if you remember, but that was back when Snoop Dogg came out with his album. And there was a song that Snoop had, because Snoop and Luke were beefing at some point in time. I don't know if people remember this. So Snoop and Luke, Uncle Luke, was beefing out of Miami. And there's this part where he says, I got a little message. What's the name? His name. So, you try to see me on the TV, use a BG, BOWG, SMOG. And he says this thing, you can't see me and my homie Dr. Dre, and I'm gonna serve you with my AK. I would change the words and I would say, and you better not get served with your own AK. Because if you're going down to Miami was nowhere to be mixed up with. And I don't care how gangster, how hood you thought you were.
Yeah.
You're coming from LA, New York, I don't care where you came from. You go down there messing around.
It was a different atmosphere. Now, I'm coming out the military at this point.
Yeah.
I just got out the military.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't no pump.
Yeah.
So, I'm still pumping green juice. But it made me put my head on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? Because you saw people actually doing what they said they was gonna do.
No doubt.
And I had a friend during that time. Well, he wasn't a friend, he was a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And he was one of the few people in life I have been terrified of. Because this dude did bodies. And we're going to let me tell you this. This dude killed somebody, chopped him up, and had him in the trunk of his car and showed us. Greg, I left so fast. I told my friend, I said, cuz I ain't coming over there no more. Dude, y'all too wild.
Hey man, let's get on track, man. Ron tried to call in. Look, he tried to call me. I've been doing this call. You don't call us, man. You should have left us unattended.
Yeah, he called you to tell us change the subject.
No, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Listen, that'll learn him. Like Granny said on the Beverly Hillbillies, that'll learn him. He'll know next time. But listen, so couple of things, man, because really, really and truly shifting gears. This is the last week of early voting. And I don't know if folks have been getting out. I went to the polls on Sunday, and I walked in and walked right out, which is an indication, that it's not as many people at the early voting polls as we would want to see at this particular time, which isn't unusual during an off presidential election season. But folks need to know that come Sunday is the last day for early voting, and we have the election on the 18th of August, and so. Let's talk a little bit about some of the races, because I know that's something that some folks are interested in. And let's start with the let's go ahead and just start with the county mayor's race. And we've had a chance to meet some folks and see some folks, man. What are you hearing on the ground? What do you think is taking place?
Well, I'm hearing good things primarily about Stephanie Murphy and Tiffany Moore. Russell, and I think that's where it's going to come down to. It's not that everybody's not qualified, but I think those two have more of the pedigree and the resume that will make voters feel comfortable in choosing either name, because they're well known, the resumes are well known, and that's what we need in a way. We can't go I think the position is too important to go with a novice. Unfortunately, you need to change direction, but sometimes change for the sake of change ain't a good thing. So,
when you say novice, I mean, who we point to as a novice in this race?
Well, run down. I don't have.
Well, who are you pointing to? Because you have Tiffany Moore Russell. you have Stephanie Murphy, you
Mm-hmm.
have Mario Uribe, and you also
Mm-hmm.
have Chris Messina. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I think about, the rookie in the race, and no disrespect, man, you got to get started somewhere. And I mean, listen, this guy, he threw his hat in the ring. And if I don't know enough about him, shame on me, but shame
Yeah.
on him, because he could have reached out to me and said, hey, this is who I am. But I guess I'm not that important, and Brother Love's not that important, and you're not that important. That's a whole nother story. But so in terms of the name recognition and the person who has, raised the least amount of money, which money isn't always the telltale sign of success, and I'll tell you why in a few seconds. But from the money standpoint, Chris Messina is actually, running last. I think he's raised like 150 grand or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Next in line, if we just deal just strictly with money, it's Tiffany Moore Russell. I believe she's at 350, 400 or something like that. And then you have Mario Uribe, who I think has raised close to 700,000, which is an indication of something. She has been around for 8 years or 6, 8 years. I can't remember exactly right now. And she's pushed some buttons. And then you have Stephanie Murphy, who has a very interesting story. I moderated a fireside chat last week with Tiffany Moore Russell, Stephanie Murphy, and Mario Uribe, and had a chance to hear from all of them. And
Mm-hmm.
she's raised, I want to say, like over 1 million, just a little over 1 million. But remember this. You remember when um, Teresa Jacobs ran against Siegel back in what was it, 2010?
Mm-hmm.
2010, 2012, something like that. And I want to say Siegel came out with like 1.5 and Teresa had like 500 grand or something like that.
Yeah.
And Teresa Jacobs pulled that race out. So
Yeah.
I don't always look at money as the end all be all to tell me the success in the race.
Well, in the terms of novice, yeah, Messina he's not as well known as the other three that are
Yeah.
still in the race. But one thing about Myra Uribe is that to me, she has name recognition in certain segments, because I hadn't really heard of her or followed her until you guys kind of hit me to who she was and everything. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna translate. Now, at one point, she was leading in the amount of money
Yeah.
that was raised, but is it enough? Because I know
Yeah.
people know who Tiffany Moore Russell is, and certainly Stephanie Murphy. And I think that those are names that countywide that are known to voters, especially on our side of the time. Nothing against
Yeah.
Miss Uribe, but sometimes just that name recognition and the locations that it rings out can help a candidate as well. So I
It's
give
going
it
to
to them.
depend. It's going to depend on how they spend their money too.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see, like the mailers and different things like that in certain areas. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm not seeing, 1.2, 1.3, $1.5 million in advertising.
Yeah.
Remember when Alvin Moore ran for District 2, I think he raised like 100 grand. He had commercials. You know what I'm saying? And you got 1.5, 700,000, and they ain't seeing no commercials, man. What you spending your money on? That's but I know that it's a different time with social media and things like that. But I mean, I'm not seeing. I mean, maybe like I said, maybe I'm seeing something different, man.
You would bring up Ditch Diggler.
Shovel man, shovel man. That's what it was.
Yeah, I gave him the name Ditch Diggler. That made Alvin mad.
Man,
What?
hey man, y'all
But
did that, man.
listen,
Listen, man, y'all drunk that
and
dude.
it's funny because I'm running two campaigns right now.
Yeah,
One for Democrat and one for Republican.
yeah,
This is like my second Republican, and it's a whole different animal. And the thing that I know is that voters, they want to really know that you're going in there for them.
hmm,
And the biggest thing in this election period is apathy. I think that's going to be the determining factor. If you can get your people out
hmm.
and not have them mired in apathy, then you're going to win. And I tell my candidates, I told both of them this: look, signs don't vote. Okay,
Nope,
yard
they sure
signs
don't.
don't vote.
Yep,
Okay,
and
if
votes
you're
and
not
votes
out
don't
there,
transfer either.
what
And votes don't
what,
transfer
what did I
either.
tell you when I was helping you? Door knocking,
Yep,
letting people see you.
retail politics.
Exactly. They need to know that you're a real person. You have concerns just like they do. Just like they do. And that still rings true. So, going out there and planting out signs and running ads, that's good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're not doing retail politics, it will show at the polls. It's going to show.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, man. So, like I said, the strengths, I see strengths in, and I just don't know enough about Chris Messina. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To some extent, every candidate has called or reached out to Let's Talk Nation in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Chris Messina, I don't know who this guy is, and like I said, no disrespect for him, but if you leave it up to me to create your story, then good luck with that. So all I can say about Chris Messina is he's a non-entity. I don't know him, and that's
And so
now
you can't say good, bad, or indifferent about him because
he's a non-entity. I mean, I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent to call him a non-entity or a non-factor. But here's the other thing though. So when I look at Stephanie Murphy, one of the things I see is that she's a former congresswoman, so she most certainly has the connection. She most certainly has the name recognition because she was in during the time with Val Demings where there was a lot of attention on Democrats and things of that nature. So she does have that going for her. She has family that has the resources to help raise money and to put money into a campaign, which is obvious, and that's good. With Myra Uribe, one of the things that she's known for is being a fire starter, but in a good way for her community and not going along to get along. And that's the one thing that I really like about her and that I recognize about her. And she has caught the attention of folks, and that's why she has raised almost $800,000. The thing about Tiffany Moore Russell that people just keep seeming to forget, and I don't understand why this is being overlooked. The only person in this county mayor race that has won county-wide is Tiffany Moore Russell. The only person who has the only person that has a bully pulpit with her name on everything clerk of courts is Tiffany Moore Russell. And I think that people are discounting that only because, listen, Tiffany is a retail politician. She's not going to be out there, raising a whole bunch of money because she does it. She's shown time and time again from District 6 to clerk of courts that she can find a way to win.
Well, she's good at it. She is good at retail politics. Let's just call it what it is. She's very good at it. And she seems to have a system and a plan down that has served her. I mean, she wins wherever she goes. She's been a county commissioner, clerk of courts, and not one or two times,
right?
Because she turned out as a
county commissioner,
as a commissioner. Yeah. So it's not like she doesn't know what she's doing.
And I want to say the second time she ran unopposed.
Yeah,
if I remember right. Yeah,
I think so. And so that's got to count for something. That definitely has to count for something for her in that race. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who do you like for District 2? That's Camille Brown, Mike Crabb, Wes Hodge, George Oliver, and Marsha Summerseal.
All right, can I be 100%?
Summerseal is out of Apopka.
Can I be 100% upfront with you on this, man?
Yeah.
So you and Brother Love, y'all know me. If I walk into a voter's booth and I either don't know the people or I don't like them, I don't put anything. District 2, although I'm in District 2, was one of those races where I didn't put anything. And let me tell you why. The reason why is because I know Camille Brown, I know Wes Hodge, and I know George Oliver. I like Camille Brown. I like Wes Hodge. I like George Oliver. Ask me how many of them called me.
None of them. I know that.
And so if I like 3 people and nobody calls me from that 3, and I don't know the other ones, and I don't vote just to vote, I don't put anything in there. So for District 2, 100% honest with you, bro, that was a 0. That was blank on my ballot. That was blank. And if they don't reach out to me, I'm not gonna slam them because, like I said, I like them. But if you don't have the common decency to at least ask me, for my support or to let me know that you're out there, again, and I know 3 people in the race, that means that you're leaving it up to me. And when people ask me, like the 3 million people that we talk to on this show, when they hear me say I didn't vote for anyone in that race, I mean, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah,
Figure it out for yourself.
And that's very true. And I don't know. We've been doing this for 10 years, and it's beyond me why people feel that we should be chasing them down when really, I mean, we're nothing special. They should be trying to get every podcaster and every show where they can reach voters and get their cell phone there.
I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna push back on that, because we are something special. We hear everywhere we go that there's no one doing what we do.
Yeah,
that's what we hear.
That's true.
The other thing too, let me tell you something. Now, the other thing too is that we've been shown that when we speak out or whatever, people get money in their campaigns.
Yeah.
So, and I'm very big on that. If I support someone or whatever the case may be, whoever that may be, that I put money in their campaign. I help raise money in their campaign. So,
okay,
and I know that Brother Love does the same thing.
I ain't want to brag, but you're right.
Listen,
behind the scenes, we know that Let's Talk Nation is very, very persuasive and very influential when it comes to local elections and local issues.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I rock with them two brothers because we get things done. I remember the tremendous effort that went into helping Apopka, South Apopka, in particular. And at one point we were literally carrying these people and they didn't want to go on the trip. I put it that way. Yeah. But so we realized that, hey, you can't want something for somebody who doesn't want it for themselves.
Sure can't.
And so people don't want to talk about that part, Greg, but it's true. You can have all the outreach and the help and the resources there, but if you don't know how to utilize it and take advantage of the opportunity, then it's for nothing. Don't complain if you're not ready to do the work. Because see, I guess they wanted it. What the song? Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Oh, signed, sealed, delivered. Yeah.
And wasn't no sweat equity. You got to put sweat equity in. Nobody's going to hand you a finished product.
But here's the other thing too, though, Doc. What people don't understand is that even the things that they don't see, the phone calls that we can make.
Exactly.
And people may not remember, but Brother Love remembers. Even when we don't support the same candidate, the impact that we have as individuals. Because you remember Christine Moore and Patricia Wrong. Doc got Brother Love got behind Patricia Wrong. I said there's no way that I could support Patricia Wrong at the time. Me and her, we good now. We good, but that she had double crossed me, and me and she and I, we had a conversation about it, and I told her I got to get my lick back. And I got behind Christine Moore at the time, who I will not support ever again, because she showed me her true colors. But Brother Love accused me of putting my fingers on the scale, because when I decide, and when Brother Love decides, or when you decide, and when we collectively decide that we're going to lend our voice, not necessarily to a person, but to an issue, and I don't think people really and truly understand that. Brother Love says it best, is that I want to say our success rate with people that come on the show that we talk to, that we help to tell their story. Not to say we do anything special, but we help them tell their story here on this podcast. I think we're like at 80% of those individuals who come on and talk. Those individuals who end up getting elected. So
we get money. Y'all get money to come their way.
Hey, we are something special. We are something.
And I was just thinking about the fact that you two brothers got a multi-million-dollar developer to come to South Apopka and discuss building there. Mm-hmm. And he was ready to commit to it. And the stupid government at the time couldn't even understand the value of what was being brought. I don't understand that. It's such we don't want to do it with y'all. It needs to be
Right.
done, but we don't want to do it with y'all.
Right.
And
Right.
that was basically what was going on, because it's y'all, we don't want to do it.
Listen, what people don't realize also. So, I mean, you're talking about a pop quiz, but let's talk about the historic town of Eatonville back in 2015. So I'm going, listen, man, I got history lessons up here, bro. I tell people I have institutional knowledge of what has taken place. Brother Love and myself brought in $10 million to buy that Hungerford property. Real dollars. Now, the school board has purported to agree to sell that property to Dr. Phillips Foundation for $2 million. But 11 years before that, we had real money on the table.
I remember that.
Real money on the table.
I remember that. And
so,
but and that says a lot about sometimes not knowing what you don't know can hurt you.
Oh yeah.
It can hurt. And I've, this ain't our first rodeo, and we've seen this time and time again. And especially in African American communities, I want the audience to understand that y'all don't know the whole story on a lot of stuff. You would be surprised how many missteps business-wise are made, and missed opportunities are the result. Not because it wasn't there, it was because the people who said they were in leadership didn't have the capacity to understand the deal and the long-term benefits. Because it certainly would be a very different story in Eatonville right now, and it would be a very different story in Apopka right now.
Yeah.
You would have had a mixed use area in Apopka that served all of the people of Apopka. But because the leadership at that time only focused on who it was that was bringing it to the table, it was a missed opportunity.
Well, that plus you have idiots in the community too, who just for the sake of saying no, will try to rally people around their idiotic causes or claims.
Yeah.
And those people hurt communities more than they help communities. And I mean, a lot of people know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, you got these people on Facebook and all of this other stuff who have done nothing to really and truly effectuate change.
Never brought any weight to bear.
Yeah.
And I always say, what I always say?
What's
stupid
that?
People don't know they're stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's why, that's why I don't spend a lot of energy on these crazy people. Like, people listen. I know about the people on Facebook and all that stupid stuff they say, man. And people, they always, hey Greg, can you? And I'm like, look, just ignore them until it gets to a point where you can't ignore them. Like that one time when I was pushed to the point where I just couldn't ignore them anymore, and I had to, put on a masterclass. And I don't know if people think that I play when I say you got to come see me in court. I don't play about that. That's one thing I don't play about. You understand what I'm saying? So
and what people need to understand, that many times who you think is rah for you is not the right voice for you, because they can make things infinitely worse than they have to be. There's a lot of missed opportunities in Central Florida communities because you got the loudmouth and the weirdos out there front and center. And these people don't have a clue about how to put anything constructive together. They don't know how to build consensus. They think about, I'm just a D. Everything is a D. I'm a Democrat. If it ain't a Democrat, I don't want it. No. You got to work. You work with what is on the table.
Yeah.
You can't bring in new players if they're not in the game. You play with what the hand you're dealt.
Yeah.
Reach across the aisle. I mean, I think about Doug Bankston. We didn't know him, but all of us got to know him.
Yeah.
And so now you can go to him and say something. Rod can go to him and say something. I can go to him and say something.
Listen. But let's not be confused about that. I knew Doug Bankston because I was opposed to him. Me and Doug, and he and I had some. I don't want to say like issues because he's a pastor. You know,
Yeah,
I'm a Christian, and so I don't want to say like we had like beef and problems, but we weren't seeing eye to eye. And one day we decided, hey, listen, we need to sit down and talk about this and see if we have any commonalities here. And after we sat down and spoke, I mean, he and I have been good ever since,
yeah,
because we understand that although I'm a Democrat, he's a Republican. We have a lot of things that we agree upon to
yeah.
help the community get better.
And
And so
see,
we put the
and that was my experience with him, meeting him at his church, and I was with
Mhm.
some other people, but I was able to talk to this man and find out really what his values were, and I
Mhm.
understood where he was coming from.
Right. Right.
So, I said, okay, this is a guy that he knows that it needs to be done, but he's also got to build a consensus.
Right.
And he can't just go in there not having a relationship and making changes. It takes
Right.
time. You can't show up to anybody's office and demand instant changes, and they don't have a relationship
Right.
with
And
you.
they don't know who you are. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and they don't know what the entire nexus of your problem. It might be something that they can't help you with.
Right.
And
Right.
but a lot of people don't understand it. They will go to the, and I don't want to pick on South Apopka, but I've asked people in South Apopka, you run your mouth, but why are you not down to Orange County raising this same hell? Because that's actually who provides your services in South Apopka. Why are you at the city meetings spewing all this stupidity, and you're not at the actual place that you can effectively advocate to make some changes?
Right. They don't know.
It's not the city.
Yeah.
And that should tell people right there they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like
Well,
them going to Eatonville town meetings and complaining about South Apopka.
They may as well. Yeah, that's just good. That's just good.
And so you see that, and listen, I'm up here in red, the reddest Republican county.
Yeah, Lake County is it. Yeah, Lake County is it.
And I'm having the same problem here with Republicans, believe it or not, because our city government here is, I don't even know. I don't know even where to begin. And I was shocked at the level of I won't say incompetency, but people who are in office have no clue.
Yeah.
As to how to really effectively run a government and have an ethical framework in place. We had a council member that had a contract with the city. He got appointed to the city council because somebody else resigned, so they appointed him. He kept trying to do business with the city. Well, it's not in the charter. You can't do that.
Yeah. And you can't vote on it, at least.
What is wrong with people? Why not? Why not do the right thing and say, hey, this is a conflict for me. I need to divest from this contract.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But listen, since we're talking about crossing the aisles or reaching across the aisles and things like that, because we have about 7.5 minutes left, let's talk a little bit about this governor's race, man. Because there's a lot of folks that's talking about that, what's taking place, and I think the writing is on the wall, unless something miraculous happens, that the combatants, for lack of a better term, in the November general election for governor is going to be Jolly and Donalds. And so, what are you hearing right now with regards to what's going to take place in November?
Right now, I think Jolly is at 48%, and Donaldson is at 51.
52.
52? Okay, I didn't look at the numbers today, but I think it's his race to lose. I really do. This is my concern, and I'm just speaking from I'm an old dude, so I'm speaking from the history of Florida. I'm kind of skeptical that Florida will elect a black man even as a Republican. I'm hoping that that's not the case, and that the person that that's best qualified gets it. And I think that that's Donaldson at this point for whatever reason. I know more about him, Now, the thing is interesting is down here, I'm seeing a lot of attack ads coming from conservative groups against him.
Well, that's for the primary though. That's the primary. That's not going to be unusual. You know,
Well,
they got to
yeah, but it ain't. Listen, nobody's polling closer to him in the primary. You understand what I'm saying? Why do that?
I mean, you know, they feel like they're gonna get something out of it.
But
so.
that's gonna damage him in the general.
It could. But listen, the people that they're talking to weren't going to vote for him anyways. The ones that's going to pick up on is going to be the Democrats, quite possibly MPAs. But you know, I don't see the benefit of it either. I think that whoever is out there, that they should be trying to align with him, especially if he is going to be the governor. But here's a question I have, Doc, and riddle me this. All right, riddle me this. The Democratic Party is a party for all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. The Democratic Party is a party of black people, right?
That's what they say.
Okay. Why is it, if the Democrat Party is a party of black people, that in the history of the Democratic Party and the history of a governor's race in the state of Florida, that this is the closest a black man has ever come to being the governor of the state of Florida is from the Republican side and not the Democrat side? The last time we had an African-American male to even contend for the governor of the state of Florida was Kendrick Meek. And we saw what happened with Kendrick Meek. That's when Charlie Crist stepped in, and the Democrats got behind him because they couldn't get behind the African American male. So why is it, for anybody that's out there that want to answer this question for me, why is it that here in Florida, with all these Democrats, with African American males and females, that the closest an African American has ever come to being the governor of the state of Florida, aside from Carroll, who was the lieutenant governor, who, if Jeb something happened to him, that would have been the governor. So that was the first close. Now this is the second close. We hadn't even had that on the Democratic side. So I want people to understand.
Well, you had Gillum now. Yeah, Gillum. Huh? I said you had Gillum.
We did have Gillum. Yeah. But who thought that he was a legitimate candidate even when he was a candidate?
Not many people.
I mean, listen, we all heard the rumblings. The stuff that people are starting to see in the news media now.
Yeah, that was
we all heard it.
Yeah.
We all maybe not to the extent of what's come out with the drugs and things like that, but we heard that there were issues with Gillum, and there were a lot of folks who were concerned about him if he did win.
Well, I told you about my conversation with his team, me and Teslin. And we got offered it, and she was like, nope. And I was rolling with her at that point. So, she was calling the shots. And I was like, okay. And she called it right.
Listen, y'all have to realize, and I don't know if people don't understand this. When I found out that Andrew Gillum was running for governor, you remember he had just stopped being the mayor of Tallahassee. Now, where am I from?
Tallahassee.
I'm from Tallahassee. I called him on the phone. And I said, hey, and they gonna play the role. I said, hey, I heard somebody from my city has a chance to be governor. You need to talk to me and tell me what you're all about. And we sat on the phone and we talked for about 30 minutes. He came to Apopka. I got the pictures and everything. I don't know if people remember this. He came to Apopka. I met him in Apopka. After both of those meetings, I turned around and I said, I can't support this guy. I like him, likable guy, and I wish I could, because anyone who, he's not from Tallahassee, but he was the mayor of my city, Tallahassee. I want to get behind somebody like that, but I couldn't get behind him, and I said it public. I cannot get behind him.
Well, the guy has a lot of charisma.
Yeah,
and that, I think, is what he was banking on. It wasn't enough to get him over the finish line, but
there was no substance to him.
There was no
substance to him. Yeah.
Could you imagine had he won? What would that have looked like? Because it wasn't like those underlying issues were going to go away.
Listen, I hate to say this.
Version of Marion Barry.
No, listen. Don't tell you we would have had our own version of it. I hate to say this, man, because this is another rattler, man. And I love my rattlers, bro. Y'all got to understand. I came from the highest of 7 Hills, and I grew up in Tallahassee. So y'all got to understand this when I say this. We would have had ourselves another Kwame Brown, bro. Kwame Kilpatrick. I'm sorry, we had ourselves another Kwame Kilpatrick. And listen, Kwame is good people, man. And we talk about redemption stories, man. Listen, give the man his props and give the man his flowers. But that's what we were looking at. And I know that Kwame was the hip hop mayor of Detroit. But that's the type of thing that we would get ready to deal with, the parties and things like that, and the this, the and all the other stuff that was going on. We for the first African American in that seat, we that's not what we needed. That's not what we needed.
He just wasn't. He wasn't ready for the party.
Nah. But and people knew this about it. This is crazy that people knew it.
I know.
But they wanted to tell us. They want to tell us who you gonna believe, us or your lying eyes. That's what they tell. Who you gonna believe, us or your lying eyes? Now I'm gonna believe my eyes because I know what I see. I know what I heard. I know what I seen and what I heard.
That's like letting your crackhead cousin in the house. You know he steals.
And you still let him. What you thought he was gonna do when you got up there?
No, he ain't. He's gonna be out there selling my iron board tomorrow.
Yeah, I gotta go buy my TV back because you let him in my house.
This is who he is. But we Black people are eternally hopeful. We always gotta hope about redemption, and we don't like to call people what they actually are. We try to always find the goodness in people, and I think it's a blessing and a curse a lot of times. Because it keeps us in situations and circumstances longer than we should be.
No, I agree.
But hey, it's 8 p.m. and boss man gonna be calling here in a minute. He don't like when I go over, so
I know.
You don't get to hear the conversations afterwards.
Hey, but listen, though, man, we had a great conversation, man. We got through just about everything. But we're gonna have to circle back. You, Doc, you, Brother Love, and myself on this teen bike phenomenon, man. This teen e-bike phenomenon that's taking place, and that is having a devastating effect on communities, especially since school has just got started back, and where some school districts have banned kids under the age of 16, I believe it is, from being able to drive or ride these things to school. And the parents, So we need to jump on that because this craze has gotten ridiculous, bro.
Are they showing up in swarms on the e-bikes?
They were, and they had something that happened here in Central Florida. And there was actually an ambulance that was trying to get through, and these bikes blowing through red lights, and the ambulance was delayed because of it. Man. It's ridiculous.
I don't know. Do you remember mopeds?
Of course, I had one. Yeah, I had one. Yeah, I had one. But it wasn't like this. Not to that extent, because remember, mopeds was a little more expensive than these e-bikes.
Yeah, but I know
everybody has an e-bike now, man.
The thing that tickled me when I was in Europe was to see moped gangs.
Oh yeah,
you would literally see 600-700 people on mopeds.
Yeah, I heard about those. I didn't see it in Europe, but I heard about those.
It was the same phenomenon.
Yeah,
same phenomenon. So it's not a new thing. But anyway, y'all, that's us for tonight. You ain't gotta go home.
Hey man, get yourself together and say it right, man.
Hey, I don't announce it. Y'all always do.
Say it right, man. So I can do
I'm gonna hang it. I'm gonna hang it up like a phone. You better tell them.
Hey man, listen, man. You said you act like something wrong with you. Hey, listen, as Brother Lover said, you ain't got to go home, and I will retort, but you got to get out of here. Till next time, we'll see you on Let's Talk Nation. Brother Love, Greg Jackson, Doc Polite, 3 of the most influential voices in Central Florida, signing out.